Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a little bit of a different video. I gave ChatGPT basically every Pokemon available outside the top 100 for the Remix Cup and asked for a team. They recommended me that I should use the Ferrothorn, the Dragonite, and the Miltank, and also they said I should at least use one Shadow Pokemon to have a little bit more of an attack weight on that team. And so we do exactly this. While it's a little bit of cheating because the Shadow Dragonite is in the top 100, while the normal Dragonite, which they choose from, is below the top 100. It's still kind of based on what ChatGPT gave me here, and so we're gonna take a look at a actually very solid team. We're going to have the Miltank as our Say-Stop, which is really cool in the current meta, having next to the move Thunderbolt, going to give you some coverage against Pokemon like the Mantine, which you see already, while we're not going to go for it because it's safer to go for the Body Slam spam. It is still quite nice to have the option to nuke them, which we should have done here anyway because the opponent decided to not use a shield here. But honestly, the theme was actually quite cool. I mean, it's not like rocket science. The core of Dragonite plus the Ferrothorn is quite a good core. But I have to say, as a Say-Swap, Miltank was quite a cool Pokemon. Definitely worked out way better than expected. Having the bulk, having a great fast move to generate energy for Body Slam and Thunderbolt spam is really cool right now. Of course, fighting types can be a little bit tricky, but it is what it is. Here, first battle, we're going to be able to win as the opponent decides to forfeit. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Deoxys in the lead, which is going to be going for counter, going to be resisted by our Dragonite, but of course one Psycho Boost. Most likely gonna put me into the red health, which I don't really want, and so Glygax is coming in against us. We don't really have a hard answer to it. We can go for our own Dragon Claw, force a shield from them, and swap out into our Miltank. Miltank has access to Body Slam, Miltank outspeeding the opponent as well, because you need an average around 3 force moves to get to a Body Slam, but after a while you're actually going to only need like 2 for like one of them, which is kind of cool. So here, as you're gonna see, we can actually still take easily one charge move from the opponent. I think I might be able to either get the final shield or the knockout here, as we saw why with exactly 1 HP after this dig. Miltank coming through, going to be able to knock them out and allowing us to align ourselves. Alignment is always kind of important in Pokemon Go PvP, and so we're gonna try to take advantage of this. Going for a Dragon Claw against the opponent's Deoxys. And as you're gonna get no shield here, it's kind of tricky because I really wanted to catch the move on the Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn can resist every single charge move from the opponent. But it is what it is. It's going to be a Sableye in the back, and we should be able to win the battle. As you're going to swap out now to the Ferrothorn, something, a little bit of a weird thing is going to happen now. What we will see is foul play coming through, everything totally normal, and I can't go for fast moves. This was not too bad. Like, the opponent got like 2 free fast moves, and as we're gonna see reconnection, we're going to have a little bit more reconnection, and we just cannot go for fast moves. You even see me tapping there, which is kind of hilarious on the recording. Nothing happened, and so the opponent was able to fully farm me down. They somehow even survived now the Dragon Breath that is eventually coming through, and yeah, I would have won this battle. No, like, there was no way of the opponent winning this one if it would have not been for lag. Next opponent, we're going to have the Mantine in the lead. That's going to be, again, a matchup that is actually quite nice for our backline. So, while I decided to stay in for a little bit too long here, usually what I would recommend you to go for is just try to go for 5 fast moves of the opponent, so 10 of your own fast moves, and then swap out. Because you have 2 good Pokemon in the back, if you ever want to copy this team, of course, with that Miltank as well as the Ferrothorn. I hope actually the Ferrothorn is below the top 100. I didn't check it. I literally just copied the everything below top 100 onto onto ChatGPT and see what they're gonna try to give me with that. So didn't fact check that. Miltank is for sure not in the top 100, I would imagine. But as you will see here as well, we try to go for another Body Slam. Doesn't work out. They should be able to knock me out here for sure. Gustload can be a little bit of a tricky one. Never mind, it does not knock me out. And so Miltank is just such a bulky monster. Going to get them low enough that we can Dragon Breath them down. They go back into the Emporium. That's actually quite fine. While we're locked in with a Dragon type against a Steel type Pokemon, we have access to the move Superpower, which you're gonna try to go for now as well, which will force the final shield from the opponent. What we can do now is also we can go ahead and go into our Ferrothorn. We know at this point the opponent's only real win con is to catch a move from Ferrothorn on their final Pokemon that's like lurking there, which has like 1 HP or something. So like it is going to be quite a clear play for the opponent to try to catch a move, and so we're not going to fall for that. It's going to be the Mantine, and the Mantine actually is not at 1 HP. It is at like 10%, I don't know. So sadly, it's just barely out of range for us to farm them down. And I make maybe a little bit of a mistake here, because I thought the opponent has a charge move start, they're most likely going to go straight for it. They didn't, and so I just gave him a free, one free Steel Wing of energy. And now I decided to go up to a Thunder, which I think I did not need to, but it's still going to work out for me. I think our power would have been enough, but we can move on to the next opponent. Next one coming through, we're going to have the Shadow Magnezone here, which is going to be a very bad matchup for this team. We actually okay, like it is, like the thing is, here Magnezone's moves are all going to be resisted by our Pokemon in the back, the Ferrothorn, but we don't really do anything back against them either. Our Miltank is going to be able to go for some charge moves quite fast, but then again, everything is going to be resisted. So it is quite an awkward one here for us, but still we can try to go for the Body Slam. I went for it way too late there, and then swap out into a Wobbuffet. Something I did not expect at all. Wobbuffet though is actually quite an interesting Pokemon. I kind of really want to take a look at Wobbuffet again. Like, this thing is just such a meme, but I feel like it has a lot of play right now. Like, what you can do is, you can use a Say Swap of the Deoxys defense, which has better coverage and just in general a little bit more flexible. And then you're going to decide to go, like, as a Pokemon in the back for the Wobbuffet. What you need in the lead is something that really hard counters Dark-type Pokemon. For example, some Charmer, maybe? Like, I don't know, would be an idea. Like Charmer alone, 9 hits in the lead, Say Swap of Deoxys, and then in the back we're going to have the Wobbuffet. I feel like this team would definitely work out quite well. Especially with like Moscow and Dark-type being something like a Mandibles. If you Say Swap Deoxys, you still have a neutral fast move with counter and super effective damage with either the Thunderbolt as well as the Rock Slide. So in a lot of cases, I feel like this would be a cool team, but again, might be something for a video in the future. But here the opponent can still go for Dark Pulse, knock me out. It's going to be a tough one to come back from. We're forced to use our final shield on that Dragonite against the opponent's Mandibles. We tried to go for another charge move as well, but they can swap out, catch me off guard with that one. And so that's going to be a good game. There's nothing I can do here. Miltank still trying its best. Look at it. It is not going to be working out at all, and we can move on to the next opponent. Next one coming through, we're going to have a Whimsicott in lead. Horrible lead force, but we can swap out straight away into our Miltank and try to retaliate a little bit with our Body Slam spam. Body Slam spam is like so much fun with this thing. Like, you can just get so fast to this moves because a rollout is generating energy way faster than something, for example, like the Lick or something from like LilyKatchum, which you usually know. It's not as fast as something like Mudshot from Greedent, but still quite a fast move to go for. Here we are going to be able to even kind of threaten the Magnezone a little bit, which is kind of interesting because you would not really think this, but we will see another Body Slam coming through and we can even get a shield guaranteed now at this stage, which is quite a lovely one for us. They're also forced to go for a Wild Charge because their Mirror Shot clearly is not going to be enough to knock us out. Wild Charge coming through, we can swap out into our Ferrothorn, which is going to be able to take any move. Like, there's not a single move that Magnezone can learn, which is going to be neutral here because Magnezone has no coverage as far as I know. I think the only coverage move that it could learn would be if you Purified and have Return on it, but I don't even think it would be eligible, to be fair. But anyway, we're gonna see here the Whimsicott still struggling a little bit. They go for the Moonblast, which actually does more than I expected. And Power Whip is coming through now as well. But we kind of try to hope and see that basically our Dragonite is going to be able to win us this battle. I decided to let the move go through. There's no real reason to shield up a potential Grass Knot. And so you can try to go for the full Dragon Breath down, and it does actually work out well. And so let's see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be a Jellicent, and we are in a very solid spot. We can go for a charge move whenever they're going to go for their own fast moves, which is kind of cool. This is not going to knock them out. We still need to go for another one, but it is very likely that they're going to try to swap out eventually here as well. And so I kind of try to prepare for that. They decide to go for the Surf, and they swap out into that Magnezone, which is going to now go down from the Dragon Claw, and they should not be able to reach a Shadow Ball in time. And with this, that's going to be a good game. 3 more battles. We're going to have here the Dragonite again against the Deoxys. You can decide to catch a move if you really want to on that Miltank, but I'd rather get some damage onto them, because if you get some damage onto them, they're going to be in like range 1 Body Slam, which is kind of cool. And as you will see here, I was able to catch a move. And if there's going to be a Psycho Boost, that's going to be quite lovely. It is, and so the opponent's going to be forced to swap out of here into a Dragonair. And good thing for us, Dragonair is not going to be able to one-shot us with like something like a Body Slam here, and we can do quite a lot of damage with our own moves. So the opponent decides to go for that Body Slam, but there's one kind of unfortunate thing is here, which we're gonna see as well, is that we are gonna be able to go for that move, but they survive with 1 HP, and so we are forced to go back into the Dragonite. We have to see what's going to be in the back. It is going to be the Guzzlord, And that's quite an awkward one. Why is it awkward? Because we still have a steel and grass type in the back that only has resistant moves against the opponent. And Guzzlord is quite a bulky boy. And so, yeah, we're gonna try to shield up the crunches early. I know there's a chance of debuffing our defense with that, but I feel like it is still better to just go for the move where you know it's going to be a crunch instead of just like trying to have a guessing game later on, just in case you might get a debuff. And so here we're going to be able to go for another power whip. This should not be enough to knock them out. It is going to be quite close, and we can try to go for the full farm now, which is not going to work out. We can let the move go through though, which is going to be the crunch, and in comes our own Dragonite again, and I was kind of misplaying this quite a bit because I should have just stayed in and went for a charge move straight away, but I didn't, and I still win the battle. Kind of undeserved for me then, but let's move on to the next opponent. Second to last battle, Horrible Leader. We can swap out straight away with our Miltank, which is access to a Thunderbolt, which of course the opponent does know as well, and it's kind of worth it to use a shield here in my opinion, as a Hydro Cannon is quite a hard-hitting move. As we will see, they swap out into the Gligar, and so I definitely think it is the best play to shield up that Hydro Cannon before. I think at least that a Hydro Cannon does more damage than a dig from a Gligar. Might be wrong though, who knows. But as we will see here, the Body Slam spam is going to be real. We try to go for another one. As the opponent decides to use a shield, we should be able to reach another move in time. And yes, Body Slam is coming through. This is going to hopefully get another shield. It does not. It's going to get the knockout though with the next one, hopefully. Let's see if that's going to work out. Shield or knockout, they can decide. They want the shield, which is fine, as I can now try to farm them down with my Dragonite. If they go back into the opponent, I have superpower. If they don't, I am going to still have a decent time. There's going to be a Goodra coming in now, where we can still knock them out with that Dragon Claw here, of course, which is going to knock them out. Let's see what's coming in next. It's very likely going to be the Empoleon, which is a Pokemon that can be quite scary, as we are not going to be able to reach another charge move here. We are forced to go ahead and go into the Ferrothorn. It still takes neutral damage from Drill Peck, which is a little bit of a nuisance, as we will see here as well. We try to go for a Power Whip, which doesn't work out. And so the opponent goes for that Drill Peck, and I was expecting them to catch a move, and so I decided to go for the full farm down here instead. And this works out quite nice, and we can move on to the final battle of today. Jellicent in the lead. That is going to be a Pokemon that I like to see with the entire team actually, and so my goal is to try to catch a Shadow Ball here, because this is, I think, the best play that I can go for. Thunderbolt would one-shot him from this range guaranteed, and also my Dragonite, keeping that one healthy with a lot of energy, can only be great. Also, which cannot be great, is going to be the matchup against the Ferrothorn. That's going to be a toughie, but we're gonna try our best still here, as we're gonna be able to reach the Body Slam again. Body Slam spam is going through. We can try to go for another Body Slam afterwards, but we have to see if this is going to work out. We can still go for the Power Whip at least. Body Slam coming through, and I can even try to maybe even overfarm by a little bit, and then swap out into my own Ferrothorn. I'm going to be able to store up one Body Slam, which maybe can come in clutch later on as well, who knows. As we will take Thunder from the opponent, which is barely doing any damage. We can also go up to 100 energy basically, and then go for the Thunder. It is not going to knock them out, but we don't even need this, as long as we're going to get them insanely low, because they cannot really do anything against us. And so this is Bullet Seed range, and that is perfect. As we now going to see them swapping out though into the Gligar, which is not really ideal for us. We are going to be in a little bit of a tougher spot now. This is going to get the shield. And here I was not too sure. Should I use a shield here or not? I decided to use a shield because I feel like that Power Whip would have caused another shield anyway, and I think that's going to be the right call. Let's find out if this is actually going to be the right call. It is going to be a shield coming up from the opponent, and yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point then. Let's see. The opponent is going to go for an aerial ace against our Dragonite, and we're going to try to go for a Dragon Claw here. We should hopefully put them into farm down range. Let's see if this is going to work out. It is going to be... I think I should have knocked them out. I think it was actually more in my favor to knock them out, but there's currently an inconsistency in this kind of stuff, so that's quite annoying. But yeah, they are going to be able to just go ahead and go into the Jellicent, knock out my little plant pot, which is going to be a little bit of an annoying one. And we can see what they have in the back. It's going to be a Ferrothorn again, of course. And so this is going to be it for this video. Sadly going to be lost at the end, but this is what it is. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.